Hello, my name is Reagan.
My name is Chris, and this is JP Catholic News.
Before we start our segments today, let's take a look at some footage our news team was able to take during the Action Film Festival this past weekend.
This is Jenna Christakis with JP Catholic News. We are here at the 2015 Action Film Festival. And here I have Josh, Abby, and
Nathan
here. Can you tell us a little bit about your film?
Sure, yeah. It's a heist movie, sort of a drama, about three thieves that go on this heist to steal some information, and one of them gets caught and ends up sort of giving himself up for the good of the other team. Well, I mean, everyone's going to see it, so it's part of the story. You know, when you have a 9-minute film, it's sort of inevitable.
Because we just submitted it to the 48-hour film festival, so we got a prompt at 7 o'clock on Friday night, and then we wrote it that night until like 1 o'clock on Friday. So,
wow, that sounds like quite the adventure and experience. Are you guys hoping to do it again next year?
Yeah, it was an interesting experience. In regards with the 48, I had done it 2 years before, so I wanted to bring these guys into it. It's a worldwide event actually, so lots of cities all across the world take part in this. So the fact that they were able to do something for like this festival as well as that festival, kind of really showing this is a good opportunity to kind of start branching out and actually kind of like use one project to be used in multiple venues. So the fact that we got something done this quickly and it's gained this kind of recognition is kind of cool. Yeah.
Quite the accomplishment, guys. Well, congratulations. I hope you guys do very well. I don't doubt it at all. You guys have a great time.
I must say there were some pretty spectacular short films that premiered on Saturday, but my personal favorite was The Take, produced by Nathan and directed by Josh and Abby. They actually won the award for Best Story.
How to Seduce an Earthwoman by Preston won Best Special Effects, and Dead End by JJ, Preston, and Justin won Best Overall. And it was nice to see Blown Away by Shannon again. And now to Renard and Anna with entertainment.
Thank you. Last week's news that Channing Tatum declined the Gambit role is false. As it turns out, it was simply a rumor. Channing Tatum confirmed this past weekend that he has officially signed on as Gambit. Now, on to the box office.
After 2 weeks at the top of the domestic weekend box office with Ant-Man, Marvel finally hands the torch off to the newest Mission Impossible movie. Rogue Nation earned $55.5 million, towering over the remainder of the top 5, which includes Ant-Man, Minions, Pixels, and Vacation.
Each of these 4 films earned between $10 and $15 million. It seems that the summer movie season is now winding down with the blockbusters behind us and the films vying for Oscars on the horizon. Visit Box Office Mojo for more information about the box office.
And Marvel's Fantastic Four has their midnight premiere tonight across the country. Now in gaming news, developer Bethesda released an announcement about their upcoming game Fallout 4. Bethesda tweeted on Thursday, quote, "To our fans who've asked, Fallout 4 doesn't end when the main story is over and there is no level cap. You can keep playing and leveling," end quote. Fallout 4 arrives on November 10th.
ABC has announced that Muppet members Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy are supposedly ending their romantic relationship. While this may be shocking for those who have seen the couple's relationship grow for several decades, it seems more likely that this breakup is a marketing ploy for the upcoming Muppet Show on ABC.
At a press conference, Miss Piggy stated, quote, "We will continue to work together on television and in all media now known or hereafter devised in perpetuity throughout the universe," end quote.
And that is all we have today for our entertainment segment.
Thank you, Anna and Renard. On a side note, Windows 10 made its big debut this past week as people across the nation downloaded the free update from Microsoft. The most notable difference is that Windows 10 offers the user the option of shifting away from the Apple-inspired tile page of Windows 8.
For more information, please visit our Facebook page. And now to Brendan with an update in politics.
Thanks, guys. Hello, everyone. Brendan Flynn here with your politics update. A quick follow-up from my last report regarding the motions on Congress to defund Planned Parenthood. It was voted down in the Senate 53 to 46. 60 votes were needed for the vote to advance. In other news, President Obama is defending the Iran nuclear deal, claiming it could risk American credibility if voted against. He then compared the opposition to the same people who were proponents of the Iraq war. It's those hardliners claiming death to America that have been most opposed to the deal. They're making common cause with the Republicans, President Obama quotes. Conservative opposition, as well as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, claim the deal will pave a way for Iran to build a bomb moving forward and ultimately challenge the bill. For election news, the big debate's going on tonight. I'll have a full update on that next week, so hopefully you'll be around next week to listen to that. And that's it for politics this week. Back to you, Chris and Reagan.
Thanks, Brandon. A quick warning to Mac users. Please be on the lookout for a new virus that can infect the Apple operating system.
It's called the Thunderstrike 2, and it's one of the first viruses that has ever been written for Apple, which means that Mac users are now vulnerable to infection.
For more information on this and other news from this broadcast, please check out our Facebook page. And now on to John with sports.
Thanks, Chris and Reagan, and I am John here with your Sports Weekly Update. Women's UFC fighter Ronda Rousey is making headlines by her impressive victories in the UFC 190 in Rio. Her last match lasted only 34 seconds in a knockout win. She is currently 12-0 in all of her matches. As of Tuesday, the MLB standings are as follows. In the AL East, the Yankees lead the Blue Jays by 5.5 games. Royals lead the Twins 9.5 games in the AL Central, and the Astros lead the Angels by 3 games in the AL West. The Angels and the Blue Jays are leading the AL wildcard race, with the Twins and Orioles 1 game behind. The Rays and the Rangers are 2 games back. In the NL, the Mets lead the Nationals by 1 game in the East, the Cardinals lead the Pirates by 5.5 games in the Central, and the Dodgers lead the Giants by 2 games in the NL West. The NL wild card, the Pirates and the Cubs lead that race, with the Giants a half game behind them, and the Nationals trail by 3 games in that race as well. The San Diego Padres are 52 and 55 at this point in the season. They are 8.5 games back in the NL West race and 7 games back in the NL wild card race. They will close out their road series against the Brewers, and they will have back-to-back home series against the Phillies and the Reds coming up. This Thursday, 8 players will be inducted in the NFL Hall of Fame, including local hero linebacker Junior Seau, who played 12 seasons here at San Diego. Among others, running back Jerome Bettis, wide receiver Tim Brown, defensive end Charles Haley, guard Will Shields, center Mick Tingleoff, and general managers Bill Polian and Ron Wolf. Training camp opened up last week in all the NFL teams. The Chargers opened up their training camp on July 29th. They will be at Chargers Park in San Diego. The NFL preseason opener will be this Sunday against the Steelers and the Vikings. The Chargers will open up their preseason opener against the Cowboys on August 13th. And this coming Wednesday will be the senior versus upper class soccer game at Grape Day Park at 1 p.m. Be there to support and represent your class. And also don't forget, this Sunday, flag football is having an open scrimmage at Grape Day Park at 1:30. And that's all for sports this week. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, John. August 5th, 2015 marked the 100th anniversary of the installation of the first traffic light in Salt Lake City, Utah.
The first generation of traffic lights only had red and green bulbs. The yellow caution bulbs did not come into play until 1923.
Now let's hear from Brian with finance.
Thank you, Reagan. Netflix employees can now take unlimited paid prenatal leave, the company announced Tuesday. The policy applies to first year after a child is born or adopted. Both parents can take as much time off as they want during that period. They might choose to return to work part-time or come back full-time for a few months and then leave again. Netflix will continue to pay their full salaries and other benefits, and parents won't have to file for disability or other state coverages. Microsoft is also bumping up its paid prenatal leave for employees. Starting in November, new mothers in the U.S. working for Microsoft can take up to 20 weeks paid leave, and non-birth parents can take up to 12 weeks paid time off. In 2014, the CEO of YouTube said, "Paid maternity leave is good for moms, it's good for families, and it's good for business." She said that mothers come back to the workforce with new insights. She also pointed that the United States is the only developed country where the government does not mandate paid maternity leave. Federal law only goes so far as to offer moms and spouses 12 weeks of time off without pay, and it does not apply to companies with fewer than 50 employees. On a different note, Apple stock fell 3% Tuesday, continuing a slide that started after the company reported the latest earnings on July 21st. Apple is now down 15% from the all-time high it set in April. A possible reason for this is Apple, which had the smartphone market share lead in China during the first quarter, slipped into third the second quarter. China has more than 25% of the company's total sales, which may be causing the low stock prices. And back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Brian. According to one report from Times Record, an iPhone survived a 9,000-foot drop from a Texas bush plane.
While the casing was nearly destroyed, the phone itself is still functional, and the owner was able to track it down using the Find My iPhone app.
Wow, that's incredible. I've heard some amazing stories about GoPros, but I gotta say this iPhone leaves them all behind.
It sure does. Well, let's move on to Jenna with what is happening in the world abroad.
Thank you, Reagan. Information was released Tuesday about the tragic death of one of the world's greatest freedivers, Natalia Molchanova. Those of you who may not know, a freediver is a diver who does not use scuba gear but merely holds their breath as they descend the depths of the ocean. Here's a picture now of Natalia and her son Alexei, who is also a freediver. Natalia had the ability to hold her breath for 9 minutes and earned 20 individual golds at World Championships for free diving. However, in spite of her great skills, she was not able to escape the strong currents of the Mediterranean Sea this past Sunday when she went diving with friends and family, but never surfaced. The free diving community mourns her death. In other international news, the United Nations has deemed that by the year 2025, Egypt will be under absolute water scarcity. However, the heat wave hitting Egypt currently has already started that process in some of the villages. Here's a picture now showing what was once a nourished farmland by the Nile River, but now drought-stricken. This drought has not only affected the agriculture of the villages, but the villagers themselves. With no source of water in the village, they have to rely on delivery of water by trucks that sometimes do not even appear for a week or so. Well, that's all I have time today for World News. Back to you, Reagan and Chris.
Thanks, Jenna. The United Kingdom has just unveiled the Lutz Pathfinder Pod, which will be the first fully autonomous vehicle to work in public areas within the UK.
On a full charge, this electric vehicle can run up to 8 hours within a 40-mile range. Steve Yianni, the chief executive behind the Pathfinder, says that the vehicle will be fundamentally transforming how we travel in the future.
Before we sign off today, we would like to announce that we are looking for 2 people to fill crew positions on the JP Catholic News team. If you're interested, please speak with Jenna Christakis.
Also, this Saturday, Metanoia will be put on by Soul at 7 p.m. at Studio One. It is the same location as the film festival this past weekend.
Well, that's all we have for today. Thanks for tuning in with us. I'm Chris.
And I'm Reagan, and this was JP Catholic News.